All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Man. So, that was a game of emotions. It's safe to say the Ravens put us through the ringer last night. I mean, I cannot tell you the wave of emotions I felt after watching that game. Just the stress, the anger, the joy, the frustration, the relief, just so many emotions happened in that game. But at the end of the day, we got the win, and we kept our playoff hopes alive. That was a must-win game. That felt like a playoff game. And somehow, we managed to get the win. But here comes the tough part. As much as I love that win, as much as I love Lamar Jackson coming in, being the MVP and saving us like Superman, there are still some things we got to talk about because the overall performance of the team was not great. So we got to get into that. Now, before we start, I got to say this, man. Lamar Jackson, you are spectacular. You came in. You saved the day. Without you, we don't win this game. It's as clear as day. You're everything to this franchise, man. You're everything. Without him, the Ravens would not even have a chance to be in the playoffs this season. So congrats to him on what he did in that game. He just seems back. This is MVP Lamar again. He's back to playing the way we love seeing him play. Lamar Jackson is back to being Lamar Jackson. He's just doing what he's got to do. So credit to him for coming in and saving the day. But we got to give a huge credit to Willie Snead and Trace McSorley. Shout out to both these guys because that 3rd and 10 connection really helped out. That was probably, besides the 4th and 5 touchdown, that was the most important play of the game. Keep in mind, Lamar Jackson's still in the locker room. He would not come out probably for another 2-3 minutes? It would have been quite some time before he would come out because we still were marching up the field. If Trace McSorley does not connect with Willie Snead on that 3rd and 10, we're going to have to punt the football back to the Browns. And consider the fact that our defense wasn't stopping anything yesterday, it could have been a situation where Lamar would have to go in with like a minute and a half left, and we would be down by 8. And now we got to go all the way down the field, score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, and force overtime. That's the situation it could have been. Or they could have just ended up killing the clock, kicking a field goal, or something. I don't know. It just wouldn't have ended well for the Ravens if we did not get that 3rd and 10. So shout out to Trace. Shout out to Willie Snead. Y'all are like the underrated MVPs of this game because without that play happening, Lamar does not get the time needed to be able to rush back out there in time and help save the day. So credit to them, man. That right there, those are 2 Ravens right there. Those are 2 Ravens that helped save this game. So credit to them. And of course, we know what Lamar Jackson did. You gotta be, he's just, man, Lamar's amazing. So shout out to him as well. But we got to talk about the issues we saw yesterday. So let's get into it. Now, this is interesting. All season, now we've been definitely talking about both sides of the football because there have been issues all over this team, but most of our ranting has come from the offense. But this is the first week, I think since week 1, where we've actually sat back and we don't have much to complain, if any, about the offense. It's crazy. Greg Roman this week actually gets a pass. Whether or not you like the play calling he called on the pass plays, I think Greg Roman ends up getting a pass because he didn't really do much. It seemed like Greg Roman sat back and said, Lamar, go be great. Go be you. If you do what you got to do to help us win this game, let Lamar be Lamar. He let Lamar play free, and Lamar was able to do whatever he wanted. Not only that, but Greg Roman actually utilized our 2 backs. Ingram was in for 1 snap, and that was the first play, that flea flicker, which I don't know what that was. That you can count that as a bad play call, whatever you want. I don't really know. But after that 1 play, Ingram did not see the field for the rest of the game. At that point, we were really utilizing our run game between Gus and JK. So credit to Roman for letting Lamar Jackson play free and let him do his thing and actually utilizing our 2 backs and not bringing Ingram into the game to ruin that chemistry. Because we didn't bring it up, but Roman could have done that. He chose to stick with these 2 backs. That was the right decision. Roman didn't have to do much in this game. He just had to continue to let this offense run the football and do what they got to do. So shout out to Roman this week for actually taking a step back and letting Lamar Jackson be him and letting these backs go free and do what they got to do. He didn't try to overcomplicate it. He didn't try to let's mix it up and do this whole No, he just sat back, let Lamar be Lamar, and let our running backs go out and do their thing. So yeah, Greg Roman, you escaped this week. Ain't no hate from me or from the Ravens flock for you. There's no hate. There's no criticism. You did what you needed to do. You did your job. You can move forward. Obviously, the same issues are there with the passing game, receivers not necessarily getting open, and receivers dropping the passes. But we did get a couple good plays, and there was one positive in this game for the most part. Mark Andrews being back, and boy, did he come up clutch when we needed him in this game. The third down throw Lamar created by scrambling to his right and getting it to Mark Andrews, catching that and taking it. And then the three other catches he made on that final drive to set up the field goal. Mark Andrews is back and doing what he needed to do. We dearly missed him. And it was clear as day, Lamar dearly missed him. And as for the other big play, Marquise Brown getting the touchdown, he needed that because before that, he was terrible. He had 3 drops. One of the drops literally happened in the previous drive where it was an easy first down for him. He dropped the pass, and we were all frustrated with this guy. So him getting that touchdown was good for him, and it helped, save the day. So credit to him. Other than that, the offensive line having issues, it is to be expected. There's not much to talk about there. We expect this from the offensive line. So yeah, other than that, there's nothing to talk about for this offense. They put up 45 points. I think it's safe to say, no matter what issues you had, the fact that we chose to run the football and actually did what we needed to do just shows that we don't really got to talk about them. They still got their issues, but for this week, it is what it is. This is about the defense. Good God, the defense. This defense gave up 42 points. 42. Cleveland's last 3 drives in the fourth quarter ended in touchdowns. This defense gave up 22 points in the fourth quarter. This is embarrassing. The defense as a whole yesterday was embarrassing. Now, I will say this. We are still dealing with injuries all around our defense. Whether the player was in the game or not, we are dealing with injuries. And we continue to deal with injuries in that game. Calais Campbell wasn't healthy, but we threw him out there. Marcus Peters got injured in this game. He was already dealing with an injury and trying to deal with that, but he got injured in this game, and we still kept him there. We kept him in there, and he just had to fight it. Jimmy Smith got injured. What else is new? And it's just like injuries were happening left and right. Our secondary was dealing with injuries. Our defensive front was doing the best they can. Those guys are, still trying to come back and from their injuries and, get something going. So it's tough there. But at the end of the day, if you're out there, you got to find a way to produce something. And our defense didn't give us anything yesterday. Let's start with the defensive front. The run defense yesterday, they got to be better. They got to be better. I'm not going to say they were completely atrocious, although they did give up They gave up 4 rushing touchdowns. That's not good. The fourth one, it was Baker rushing for it, so I can't really put that on the run defense. But the 3 they gave up, that's on them. They just got out physical. Nick Chubb ran up the gut for 2 of his touchdowns, and then Kareem Hunt did the same thing. They couldn't stop him. This run defense was giving up a couple of big runs at the worst time. This run defense has got to be better. At some point, we're looking at this run defense and thinking, can we please find a way to stop the run? This is bad. If we can't stop the run, what are we going to do? They were not good yesterday. In that. But what was worse than the run defense was the pass rush. Now, I will say this, Ngakoue definitely made some level of an impact. He's getting close. He's literally within reach of Baker yesterday. On several occasions, it's just we're not getting it there yet. It's like he's close to putting it together, but he's not finishing it. It's just like a half second late. He's still doing his thing. So Ngakoue seems to be getting closer there, and I'm hoping we get it together. But overall, as a unit, when it comes to pass rush, bruh, we could not do anything to the Baker to the Baker Mayfield. We couldn't do anything to this guy. Whether it was him in the pocket or out of the pocket, we struggled to get to him. Now, I will say they did a good job batting his passes down, and they did a good job, kind of bringing some pressure to force him to kind of force a throw or get rid of the ball. But in terms of actually getting to him and sacking him, we couldn't do it. So I'll give them some credit for the pressure they brought to Baker. It's just that they couldn't get him on the ground. And that was a big part of what was killing them. The guy was able to get out of the pocket, extend the play, and make big throws down the field. You got to be better than that. We have to get to Baker Mayfield. You got to get to these quarterbacks. The pass rushing needs to be better moving forward. You're not going to do anything when you're going up against those better quarterbacks. If you somehow make the playoffs, you may run into the Bills. You can't give Josh Allen all that time. He's going to find, with the weapons he has, he's going to find somebody downfield. And if not, he can just take off. And with guys like Patrick Mahomes, you know Patrick Mahomes, if you give him that much time, he's going to kill you. You can't sit there. You have to get to these guys. This pass rushing game needs to be better. But it is what it is right now. The best I can hope is that front seven gets healthy, gets more practice, continue to practice together as a unit, and hopefully the pass rush will improve with time. Same for the run defense. Next, we got to really talk about our defensive backs and just the secondary in general. In terms of making stops and tackling, our linebackers didn't exactly do great with tackling when we needed them to, because these guys were getting a lot of big runs and they were getting some yards after the catch and making plays. So our linebackers got to be better moving forward. I mean, they got to be better moving forward. Seriously, the only defensive player you can really give praise on this defense is Bowser, because of that pick. He did a great job. But overall, as a unit, just nah. But yeah, this linebacking unit, they got to be better at tackling, man. You got to get these guys down. You can't be giving up yards after the catch. We've got to do a better job at tackling. And it starts with the linebackers. You've got to do a better job at tackling. It's not like they were specifically completely terrible or anything like that, but they just got to do a better job tackling. That's really all I have to say for them. Now we get to this secondary. Listen, I know we've got injuries there, and you even got a backup in there at the same time, and he was struggling as well. But this secondary, you got to find a way to perform. I mean, Marcus Peters was in between getting, legit, Marcus Peters, he was going out there, he was getting beat, then he would make a stop, then he would get beat, then he would make a stop, then he would get beat, and now he's injured, and now he's playing the game with an injury. And it clearly shows. At some points, they were just targeting him. It was not good. He had to fight through an injury, but at the same time he was getting beat. It was tough. Jimmy Smith, I don't believe he returned to the game after. Jimmy Smith is never healthy when we need him. And it's just something we have to accept at this point. That's just how it is. Humphrey in this game, he wasn't necessarily terrible, but he could have been better as well. I really believe there was a play he gave up as well. And also on that touchdown by Kareem Hunt, it kind of seemed like he gave up on trying to stop the man. The guy just went past him and he just kind of gave up on trying to tackle him. So yeah, there's that. Humphrey wasn't great, but it is what it is for the most part. But what sucked the most and what really looked bad but yesterday, Chuck Clark and Deshaun Elliott struggled badly yesterday, especially Chuck Clark. But our safeties in general did not look good yesterday. I mean, they were getting beat over the top. They were getting up big plays. They did not look good. They did not look good yesterday, and they have to be more consistent. In terms of coverage skills, I need, for Deshaun Elliott, he's got to get better at that. He's got to get better in his coverage skills, because that was being exploited last night. As for Chuck Clark, he's got to get more physical and make these tackles, man. I mean, come on. He's got to be more physical with the guys he's facing off against, and he's got to be more physical in getting these guys down and tackling. He's easily the smartest person on our defense and arguably the smartest person on our team, but intelligence ain't going to really help you if you're not able to get this guy down, I mean, you can read what the offense is going to do. You can try and counter that, and you can go exactly where the quarterback's going to throw the ball and where the receiver's going to catch it. But if you're not able to get that receiver down, it's going to be all for naught. You have the intelligence, you have the genius and the intelligence in knowing where the ball's going to go, where the quarterback's looking, and you read the play perfectly. But if you're not able to make the tackle, it's not going to mean much. So, yeah. Overall, this defense yesterday, as a unit, they played poor. They played poor. They couldn't stop the run at times. They couldn't get to Baker Mayfield at all. Our linebackers struggled to tackle these guys down. Our secondary that was beat up really suffered and got beat over the top a lot. It just was not a good game. Overall, they gave up 42 points. That just clearly goes to show it was bad. What made it look really horrible is Lamar Jackson comes in on that 4th and 5 play, hits Marquise Brown, we get the touchdown, we go for 2, get it, it's 42-35, and it's like a minute 48 left or something, like a minute 50 or something like that. And all we need is for the defense to make a stop. Bruh, they give up a touchdown in 48 seconds. They go on a drive, a 48-second drive, and get a touchdown. What can you do with that? What can you do with that? Defense got to play better. They got to play better. Down the stretch, they got to be better. And it starts with, one, getting healthy. If these guys are healthy, then we'll see what happens. If they're healthy, there's no excuse. But these injuries are hurting the team. So they've got to get healthy. That's their main priority. Next, they've got to work on this chemistry issue. They've got to practice and work on this chemistry issue. Third, I think moving forward, every week, you have to have 5 cornerbacks activated. I don't know why we continue to have 4 backs active. We don't need that anymore. You need to have 5 cornerbacks active. You need to have 5 cornerbacks active because it's crucial, man. It's crucial. The injuries that's happening with the secondary, you need these guys out there. So we need to keep 5 cornerbacks, especially because we know a guy like Jimmy Smith isn't going to stay healthy. So you need to have 5 cornerbacks out there. It is crucial. We have to have 5 cornerbacks activated every week. We don't need to have 4 backs activated. You need as many corners as possible because I'm telling you, Jimmy Smith's not going to be healthy. And when he's not healthy, you're going to have to throw someone else out there. And it's going to be tough for the secondary. So our main priority moving forward needs to be getting this whole defensive team healthy and then focusing on practicing, man. We got to get that chemistry back because the way they performed against the Browns was absolutely embarrassing. They've got to be better than that, and they know it. With that being said, we've got 3 games left. We're 8-5 on the season. Let's see if we can win our final 3 games and hopefully punch our ticket into the playoffs. We'll see how it goes. But, defense moving forward has to be better. They got to be embarrassed of the way they play. But I know and I hope, they get it together. We'll just see what happens. Anyway, that's really all I got. Not much to really say. This wasn't really formatted. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I told you guys I wanted to take a couple days off. But of course, I had to sit back and talk about the game afterwards. So it is what it is. With that being said, for the most part, that's all I got. And I'm out of here, man. Peace.